Going on, everyone? Welcome back into the Bears Den, an NFL podcast with the Chicago Bears First Focus. I'm your host, Alex, here today to discuss Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is a good quarterback, and I think that us as Chicago Bears fans, and if you're not a Chicago Bears fan, and you're just out there potentially hating on Caleb Williams, we'll need to pump the brakes, okay? This kid was the #1 overall pick, brought into what many people thought, including myself, was a great situation last year. Had the weapons, right? Had DJ Moore and Rome Odunze and Cole Kmet. DeAndre Swift. A situation that many of us, myself included, thought was a great situation. And things were feeling great when the Bears were 4-2 last year. And then the team bottomed out. The defense bottomed out. The offense bottomed out. And his head coach was fired. His offensive coordinator was fired weeks prior to that. We need to remember that Caleb Williams is on his third head coach already, technically. Matt Eberflus, Thomas Brown, who was an interim, but still another person stepping into that head coach role. And then, obviously, now Ben Johnson. He's been there for 19 games. So think about that. 3 head coaches, 19 games. It's not great, right? We've seen enough good from Caleb Williams to know that he can do it in this league. Now, I understand the Bears only won 5 games last year, and I hear you. But we saw in a lot of those games, a lot of those NFC North games last year, they were 1-score losses where he put the team in position to potentially win. The Vikings game last year, down 2 scores with 1:40 left, able to bring the game back and force overtime. Now, he didn't play necessarily the best in overtime, but he was a rookie. There's ups and downs. First Green Bay game last year put us in a position to win that game with a walk-off field goal, despite the poor coaching in that game. Field goal gets blocked. That's another loss. Okay, so that's 2 potential wins right there. The Hail Mary game, which I know is not a divisional game, but still. Caleb Williams walked off the field in that game with a lead. Now, you can make the argument, he didn't play well that entire game. Neither did Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels kicked field goals, had the team kick field goals the entire game. Caleb walked off the field that game with a lead. That's 3 games, right? The Thanksgiving clock debacle against Detroit. If the head coach knows how to call a timeout, not saying it's guaranteed that the Bears win that game, but, likely they kick a field goal, goes to overtime. Who knows what happens? That's 4. The Bears were that close to being 9-7 last year, right? And there's other games that, could have gone differently as well. The Colts game week 3 last year was very winnable. The Houston Texans game week 2 last year was very winnable. The team was that close to being actually good. So now we go into year 2, new system, basically, 60% of the offensive line is brand new. That's going to take some time to gel. New system, new timing on the routes, new depths of the routes, new players. Colston Loveland's new, Luther Burden's new, Olamide Zaccheaus is new, who's currently wide receiver 3. New, all over the place. It's going to take some time. Now, the Bears should have won week 1. I agree with that. And Caleb did not really play too well in that game, in my opinion. I thought that it was, I had an expectation going into that game that we were going to see a Caleb Williams like we saw in the preseason, playing on time in the pocket. And I will agree with a lot of the media. Week 1, there was a lot of hero ball, right? A lot of hero ball, a lot of scrambling, and so on. Week 2 was different this past week against the Lions. This was a quarterback that was playing in time, that was making big-time throws. I've watched the tape back multiple times now. There were some really big plays that Caleb Williams made in this game. It's not his fault that DeAndre Swift put the ball on the turf. I mean, that fumble really changed the game. It's not his fault that Jonah Jackson on the 4th and 3 moves to the side and because he's confused on protection and lets his defender walk straight to Caleb Williams and bat the ball down on 4th and 3. Olamide Zaccheaus was wide open on that play, ran a little Texas route. Caleb Williams made the right decision. Jonah Jackson did not do his job. It takes all 11 guys to do their job. So it frustrates me when I sit here every single week, and this was like this last year, but whatever, the Bears were losing last year, so I guess I kind of understood it, and I guess they're losing now, but it bothers me greatly to sit here and watch big name media people blame Caleb Williams for this loss last week. Now, the pick that he threw down the sideline was bad. There's no defending that, right? That was a bad pick. He should throw that ball away. He explained that he thought that Olamide Zaccheaus was cutting up field. Olamide Zaccheaus cut to the sideline. Okay, miscommunication. Those types of things happen when they're, they are new together, right? They're working on that relationship, that chemistry. You got to be able to just throw that ball away and then communicate that later, right? You can't be turning the ball over. The pick was bad. But Caleb Williams doesn't play defense. Caleb Williams is not responsible for 52 points. Now, I think that Detroit did end up getting points off of the interception. I can't remember if it was a field goal or if it was a touchdown. So if you want to say that Caleb Williams is directly responsible for 3 or 7 points, whatever it was, okay, sure. That changes nothing. The Bears still lose. It's funny how quarterbacks in this league are treated by fans and by the media. Right. All Jalen Hurts does, Philly's Eagle quarterback, is win. And his stats aren't, eye-popping. But I guarantee you, when Philly loses their first game this year, and Jalen Hurts has just kind of meh stats, he will get all the blame. But when they're winning right now, he gets none of the credit. That's just how it is when you're an NFL quarterback. And I think, Ben Johnson took this job because he wanted, he likes the Bears. He likes the city of Chicago. He wanted to work with Caleb Williams. I think that Ben Johnson knew that him and Caleb Williams is going to work and that it's going to take a little bit of time. Right? Caleb Williams didn't really play much in the preseason. He played, 2 drives against Buffalo and then a half against Kansas City. That's not enough time in a new system with new players around you. I think that Ben Johnson didn't necessarily realize, however, that there's a lot of problems on this team. This team has been living with a loser culture for the last 3 years. There's a lot of problems that need to be fixed. And things are trending in the correct direction. The penalties were down this week. There were still too many, but they were better. The team was lining up correctly. They weren't, as many false starts. There weren't as many holdings. They were getting better. Right? Caleb Williams. Week 1, 86.6 passer rating. Week 2, 92 passer rating. That's going up. That is improvement. Okay? Caleb Williams on this year so far through 2 games has an 89.1 passer rating. That's higher than his year 1 87.9 passer rating. Now the completion percentage is down a point. But he's on track right now, I believe, for 3,700 yards, more than last year. His first 2 weeks last year, he didn't have a touchdown pass. He's got 3. There are signs of improvement. And if you watch the same game that I did on Sunday, you have to feel better about the offense than you did after week 1. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the offense is where it needs to be, because quite frankly, it's not. I think I saw a stat last night that teams that, if you score 21 points over the last 2 years or something, in the league, teams win 47% of their games or something. You need more than 21 points in today's game because the offenses are super strong and they put out a lot of points and it's harder to play defense with all the rules and things like that. So 21 points is not enough. But it would not have mattered if Caleb Williams scored 28 points or 35 points this week because the defense gave up 52. So if you want to put any blame on anyone or any unit, start with the defense for week 2. If you want to put some blame on Caleb Williams for the week 1 loss, I hear you. I will hear you out. I think that's valid. But they're improving, and that's what we want to see. This is going to take time. We saw this when Ben Johnson was hired in Detroit and had Jared Goff. They were not the team then that they are now, the Lions, right? So slow down. I see all these fans calling for Tyson Bagent, and that's something that pisses me off so much. It's not that I don't like Tyson Bagent. I think he's been a diamond in the rough find. He's been so fantastic for this organization, and he's done a ton of great things, and I enjoy watching him play. I think he's a great quarterback. But I'm tired of always wanting the next guy. Right? We have big news sports media guys saying that they would give Caleb Williams one more start this week against Dallas. And if it's not good enough, that's it. Are we kidding? Are we joking? Like, this cannot be real. He's in the start of year 2. It takes time. Okay? Look at all the people, the media members that were crowning CJ Stroud 2 years ago. Oh my gosh, he's going to be on a Hall of Fame trajectory. How do you think they feel now? As the Texans sit at 0-2, and he had a really rough year last year. Things change. Things develop. Think about it if you're a Cleveland Browns fan. Do you wish that you had Baker Mayfield on your team right now? I know I would if I was a Browns fan. I'd be sick watching him in primetime last night lead a drive right down the field, game-winning drive. Basically a walk-off touchdown. You think the Browns fans wish that they waited just a little bit more? That they had a little bit more patience with Baker Mayfield? Yeah, probably. Probably, right? You think the New York Jets wish that they, gave Geno Smith a little bit more time? Probably, right? He was pretty good in Seattle. Have some patience, okay? If I'm running the Bears, and I'm not, this is what I would do. At the very least, for this season and next season, assuming there's no injuries, Caleb Williams is your starter no matter what. No matter what. I don't care if they lose a ton of games. You give him 3 full years. And by the end of next year, if it's not working, it's not working. But you give the kid time to develop in the new system. I'm tired of people calling for the next guy up. It has always been the case with the Bears, right? I remember when Mike Glennon was signed. Granted, he was not playing well. It's bring in Mitch, okay? Brought in Mitch. Mitch is playing well. Had a good year in 2018. Playing okay in 2019. Some fans were calling for Chase Daniel in 2019 when the team was losing. I remember that. 2020, okay, we're calling for Nick Foles. Put Nick Foles in. Okay, Nick Foles goes in. No, wait, go back. Put Mitch in. It's always the next guy. And Dalton comes in. Put in Justin Fields. Justin Fields is the quarterback. Put in Tyson Bagent. Tyson Bagent's in. We need to draft Caleb Williams, number 1. We have Caleb Williams. Put Tyson Bagent back in. You can't win. Let the kid develop. He is showing improvement. 86.6 passer rating week 1, 92 passer rating week 2. What's week 3 going to be? Against an Eberflus defense that runs zone. I have full trust and belief that Ben Johnson, will game plan extremely effectively for this game against Dallas on Sunday. That there will be holes in Eberflus's zone defense that Caleb will be able to carve up. Caleb knows this defense. Ben Johnson knows this defense from being in the division with Matt Eberflus. The Bears will be able to game plan, and Caleb Williams, I believe, will have a great game this week. 0-2 sucks. I hate being 0-2, and I know these stats say it's pretty tough to get to the playoffs when you're 0-2. But it's 2 games out of a 17-game season. Remember that. Remember how high we were last year when the Bears were 4-2. Many of us thought that playoffs were guaranteed, and we saw how quickly that vanished. Give it time. Give the new head coach time. Give the new defensive coordinator time. They need to adjust to their players as well. Ben Johnson has some fault in this, right? He needs to put his players in the best position. I'm not seeing enough rollouts and boots, and I think that plays to Caleb's strength. And I think that with time, that will come. They need to figure out what works, what doesn't. That's why I believe the early bye will help them. And the offensive line needs time to gel. Ben Johnson himself said it usually takes about half the season when you get this many new guys on the offensive line in there to figure out how to play together, how to pick up specific things, so on and so forth. Give it time. Caleb Williams is a good quarterback. We saw that last year. The media loved him, right? They loved him. And then it's like something switched, and now there's this hateful narrative being pushed like he's some bust. Jaden Daniels hasn't looked good this year. Drake May's just meh. He's looked all right. Not great. Even Bo Nix is not looking that great this year. Everyone's taking a step back because it's early in the season. It's the second year. That's what happens. Give it time. Don't give up on Caleb Williams. He's got all the talent in the world. These problems can be fixed, right? There's certain times where blitzes are being sent that I've seen in the tape where he's taking a sack. He can learn to get the ball out to his check down fast, to play quick. That can be fixed. It's not like Nathan Peterman type decision making. It's a problem. You know what I mean? It's not like he's out here throwing 4 or 5 picks a game, throwing, like just making terrible decisions, right? There were multiple drops on Sunday. He was moving the ball fairly effectively. It takes time. It takes time. Give him the time. He's proven that he can do it. With bad coaches. Give the good coaches good time. Caleb Williams is a good quarterback. And he has what it takes. I have full belief. Stop trying to rush to the next guy all the time. Have patience. It will pay off, I promise. As always, thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me grow the channel. We are pushing for 500 subscribers by the end of the 2025-2026 NFL season. Would really just make my world if we could reach that goal. So thank you so much. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this content. Let me know your thoughts down below as always. And I appreciate you guys. Bear down. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.